Long gone are the days of Vietnamese students sit buried in math books, essays, or learn English from hello to how are you. While now, the future generation of the country, especially in big cities, are trained in a dynamic and more comprehensive environment, improving both knowledge and physical conditions in more advanced education at international schools. Most international schools in Vietnam adopting training framework of advanced country like the UK, USA, Singapore, with the desire to develop students in becoming global citizens, prepared with the skills needed to continue studying in an international education environment. St. Paul American School is one of the international standard schools of Minnesota. After 3 years of operation, the school has made significant progress. Recently, nearly 200 students and the whole school bodies have celebrated the new training facility. Sharing Vietnam Today wants a clearer delineation of the learning environment and infrastructure that an international school will provide for students in Vietnam. Hello everyone, welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 NetViet. In our program today, we would like to share with you on the facilities of American standards here in Vietnam. And with this, we want to introduce the representative head principal of St. Paul American School here in Vietnam. Thank you so much for joining us and congratulations for the new facilities that you have here. First of all, can you share with us on the vision of St. Paul American Schools in opening facilities and branch here in Vietnam, and what are the demands that you can see in Vietnam about international environment for education?
Well, first of all, thank you for coming to this. With regards to the challenges and demands that we're faced with, we don't necessarily say that we are going to do things any different than what we would have done anywhere else because of the facility, but this really supports everything that we try to do. We really want to create this American international school so that students can come here and understand what it means to be global citizens, to understand what it might mean to be global leaders and experience what it means to be working internationally someday. So that's very exciting for us. With regards to the Vietnamese population, we have approximately 15, 16 students at this time. We know that's our target right now to actually grow in that area. We know we'll get more Vietnamese students, and we're very excited about that. We also really love that challenge of taking the Vietnamese students and introducing them to a whole different kind of education where they're really focused on participation in the classroom and getting them to open up and discuss and help to solve problems and be creative, and not necessarily that they aren't that way in their past schools. It just means that that's a big part of their grading and their success being a part of this school.
How does these new facilities will opening up, a new curriculum, new activities for your students compared to the previous location?
One of the things we strive for is to do a great job with planning and preparation of what we do every day, the what and the how of getting it done. And it's really important to us that we have facilities that help us do that and to achieve that. And so when we come into a building like this, we can actually get things done much easier. We can collaborate with each other, with our partners from the United States, because we have good internet out here, and we're able to do some other things like give the students an experience of what an American school might feel like. And so it's all about developing that environment, because that environment can give that student that feeling of excitement, that enthusiasm, that develops that passion and that pride.
And that's mean that your students will have an overall development, not only academically, but also physically, and their spiritually creativity as well, right?
It's common in America, for example, to give students all those activities where they might have 15, 20 different competitive sports each semester. Or they might have a lot of different bands and choirs, orchestras, symphonic bands, choirs and drama, dance, and all of those kinds of events. And so we want to create these activities for the students. So coming onto our campus, in America it's common that you might have a choice. And you might, if you want to be a part of activities or not. Here, you must be a part of activities.
This is the new infrastructure of St. Paul American School. The school offers training programs from elementary to high school under the U.S. International Education System (NASEL). This ensures the quality of education according to U.S. curriculum and standards. In addition, there are numbers of international schools in Vietnam, also under the NASEL system, including the Vietnam British International School and the Vietnam American International School in Hanoi.
We also provide assistance with accreditation. We provide assistance with testing and materials, as well as support for staff. We work hard to ensure that the same quality education is provided in our school in St. Paul, as well as our affiliated schools around the world, including Vietnam American School, Hanoi.
Swimming pool, football fields, and fascinating extracurricular classes are the differences that students acquired while studying in these costly international schools. Students develop physical strength, creativity, and ability to express themselves in an environment of academic openness. However, the wider view about the world from the perspective of international friendship perhaps is the most valuable experience from this learning environment.
I feel very excited when I study in here, and in here they have the great teachers that always help me. I feel very good because I can learn about another country's culture, and also I can improve my English.
It's a very international environment. I think at least 17 countries are represented here. Many Vietnamese students, American students, students from all over the world are here. So the students who come here will learn right away what it is to have friends who speak different languages and who have different traditions. I think education, both at this level, the elementary and secondary level, and also higher education, are ways that our two countries can work together, can collaborate together to accelerate Vietnam's integration into the global community. A school like this is designed to help Vietnamese succeed.
Numbers of international standard models are not only existing in elementary until high school, but now Vietnam is a destination for some international universities. The strengths in infrastructure, curriculum, and international recognition create significant pressure for Vietnamese schools. Investment in infrastructure, reaching out and cooperating with foreign partners to develop cultural exchange activities, student exchanges, modernizing core curriculum are the keys for Vietnamese educational system to grow and gradually being recognized in the international arena. So as you have said, there are a number of Vietnamese students here in your school. So can you share with us your assessment about the ability of Vietnamese students in adapting into international learning environment?
The Vietnamese students here are doing very well. In fact, it's been a lot of fun watching them. From what I've heard from their parents and what I understand about their personalities and the way they were in their past schools, they're very shy. They're very closed. They didn't want to open up. They may not even have felt completely confident, a couple of them in their, say, math skills. And all of a sudden, we turn them into that American way where They're a little bit always thinking, what could I do? What could I do to come up with that answer? And they're very creative. They're very good at critical thinking. And so that's what we want to challenge all our students to do, is to be critical thinkers and creative thinkers.
Will there be any activities that will help to connect, the Vietnamese students and the American students and different cultures in your schools?
One of the things that we do for sure is to enforce our English-only zone. So we don't want the students walking up and down the hallways or going to lunch or even on the field talking Vietnamese or Korean. It develops their English skills, obviously, but it also gets students to work together and to live together and be a part of each other in their lives. One of the things that we're able to do here is create all these activities. So you'll all of a sudden see the basketball team, and they might come from 3 or 4 or 5, 10 different countries. And so all of a sudden, when you're running around on the field or in the court, you can't yell at each other in your native language. You have to talk to each other in English to communicate well. So it's exciting. That's what develops their English.
And had you had any experience with Vietnamese students here transferring to American schools to continue their study?
So we've had that experience. That's one of the things about Nacelle. You see, with Nacelle International Schools that we're tied to, and I've been working with Nacelle for 5 years now. One of the things that we do as a system with Nacelle is it gives that ticket to the United States to go to a high school there if you wish to. And so if you attend a school like ours here for at least 2 years, you're going to be guaranteed a spot at a U.S. high school if you want to have that experience. Even if you want to do it for just 1 semester. It gets students excited. Even if they tend to come here and go, now I want to stay and graduate from here. Or, this is my purpose. I want to come here, experience this, develop my English further, get that American feel or experience from the classroom, and then go on to America and I'll adapt to that culture easier.
Thank you very much for all your sharing today, and once again, congratulations on the new facility. It means that is the new recognition of the growth as a school, as well as opening up new opportunities. And that's the end for Sharing Vietnam today. Thank you so much for watching us. Hope that this show has shared with you the opportunities for Vietnamese students to have more chances and options in terms of adopting into international learning environment, and what this environment can help them in transferring to different countries to continue their study. Any questions and recommendations, please email to sharingvietnam@fvittv.net. Thank you and see you again.